Now that I feel pretty good about my opening claim, let's talk about how to contextualize and embed evidence. So if I look at my initial draft, I do give a little bit of context right here, for example. So that is an example of context, like I'm about to get into my evidence. So this essentially means that I've clarified where in the text my evidence is going to come from. So I say, for example, the woman knows that something bad is going to happen, so she leaves behind her son and her husband. So I give a little bit of background information, but then I just drop the quote in there. So she was gone, and the coldness of it was her final gift. Dropped in there. Right? So, in order to write sophisticated analytical paragraphs, I need to provide just enough context and then embed my evidence, meaning I need to pick the most important parts of the quote. So, you usually don't need an entire quote and embed it into my own thoughts so that it flows smoothly. So, I'm going to change this a little bit from for example, because I have more specific information than that. So, we learn this through a flashback. So, instead, I'm going to write during a flashback, the reader learns that whatever happened suddenly. And for a while, they made the most of it, sometimes passing the time with a deck of cards he found in a bureau drawer. All right, because it's a quote, I need to make sure that I cite it. We're only talking about a single author, single text, so all I need is the page number in parentheses, followed by the punctuation. So notice how I added context during a flashback. So this gives some information as to where in the book it happens and embedded my quote. So it's hard to tell where my words end and the quote begins. So if you weren't reading this, it would be hard to tell what's my words and what are McCarthy's words. Also notice how I've included a proper MLA citation, page number, parentheses, punctuation. But I'm not done yet because I still haven't addressed the moment when she leaves, right? That's how, the aspect of setting that inspires a character to do something. So I haven't established how the setting forces that decision. So I need to add more context and evidence. So rarely can you get away with just a single piece of evidence when you're writing an analytical paragraph. All right, so I am going to add in, but this changes as time passes. Because again, I'm reading this as though somebody who's never read the book before, so I need this information. So the woman tells the man that she is leaving, and as the man begs her to stay, she says that she should have done it a long time ago when there were 3 bullets in the gun instead of 2. Again, my citation. Now I need to explain it. I can't just drop my quote in there. So the reader can infer that it refers to taking their lives because of how, I'm going to put that in quotes, it is sandwiched between the man begging her to stay and the information about the remaining bullets in the gun. All right, so now we're getting there. I've clarified to my reader that something happened and that the conditions over time have deteriorated to the point that the woman wishes she had left a long time before and had taken the boy with her. I've also explained to my reader where my ideas are coming from. I can't assume that my reader has the same understanding of what it is, so I need to explain it, kind of like showing your work in math. But I still feel like I haven't adequately addressed how the setting influences the character's decision. So I'm going to add in one more piece of evidence. All right, so after there, so the woman tells the man that they are going to kill us and eat us. And while he refuses to face the truth, she can't sit around and wait for it to happen. Go back and fix this. All right, now I need to explain that. So it's at this point that the reader understands the extent to which humanity has deteriorated as a result of the hostile setting. So look at that. As a result of, so now I'm really starting to get to that final task, the one that's highlighted in blue up here, the connecting the setting to the character's behavior to the purpose of the text. I'm almost done. So I've included contextualized evidence, I've made connections, but I still haven't fully addressed the why. I still haven't fully connected it to McCarthy's purpose, which is my final step.